What is up guys, it's Tyler once again, and I'm coming at you guys with another content of Cookie Run Kingdom. In this video, like I promised yesterday, I am going to be going over the best toppings that you can use for all of the epic cookies that are in this game in order for you guys to kind of get a gist of what kind of toppings are going to be the best for each of these cookies. Anyways guys, if you guys enjoyed this content and find it helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you guys don't miss out on any future Cookie Run Kingdom videos I upload on YouTube. Anyways guys, with all that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Okay, here you go guys. I'm gonna start off with pure vanilla. Pure vanilla, the best toppings that I'm gonna say are going to be full solid almond, or you can go with the mixture of Swift chocolate and solid almond. I would say 3 Swift chocolate and 2 solid almond. The focus for all healers are going to be you want to have as much damage resist as possible in order for them to survive the heavy hits so that they can heal your teammates without dying. Alright, and I use full solid almond, but however you can always go for a mixture of Swift chocolate and solid almond so that you can have some extra cooldown as well as enough damage resist to survive in your PvE and arena as well. Next one is going to be Hollyberry. For Hollyberry, is going to be no matter what, it has to be full solid almond in order for her to tank the damage that she is going to be getting focused from the other teammates, as well as in order for her to tank the damage that she's normally supposed to tank. She has to go with full solid almond. I would recommend that you go full damage resist as well as focus on some extra crit resist. It's because of the crit damage has been increased with the new technologies that have been going on, so I would highly recommend that you do focus a little bit on crit resist as well. Next cookie is going to be for Sea Fairy. Sea Fairy has many builds, but I would say the standard is going to be either 5 searing raspberry, or 3 searing raspberry, 2 Swift chocolate, or 3 searing raspberry, or 2 solid almond. For me, I'm going with the hybrid of 3 searing raspberry and 1 Swift chocolate, 1 solid almond, in order for me to get some extra cooldown as well as damage resist, and focusing mainly on the damage. But it is up to you guys, but I would say the substats are going to be very important when you do get the whole set. So I would say focus on damage resist for your main substat, attack, and cooldown for Sea Fairy cookie. Next one is going to be Black Raisin. Black Raisin is going to be no matter what 5 searing raspberry. You want to focus on damage as well as crit percent and a little bit of damage resist if possible. Okay, and in order for her to tank some damage that it comes her way if she is facing enemies that are going to be able to attack the middle lane. So I'll say full searing raspberry for Black Raisin. Vampire is going to be the same thing guys, full searing raspberry. He's mainly used for guild boss battle and as well as other boss battles in this game, and if that is the case, then you really want to focus on attack as well as crit percent. You don't really need that much cooldown, but it does not hurt to have some, as well as some extra damage resist. But for Vampire Cookie, when he does use his skill, he has a chance of dodging their the upcoming damage to him because it is out of the field. So just keep that in mind when you are using Vampire Cookie. You don't really need to focus on damage resist too much. I would say the main stats are going to be attack, crit, and a little bit of cooldown. Next one is going to be Pastry Cookie. Pastry Cookie has different builds as well, but main one is going to be full searing raspberry. Some people do go 3 searing raspberry as well as 2 solid almond just so that she can have some extra damage resist, but it is up to you. Typically for PvE, I would just highly recommend you go with full searing raspberry and go for mainly attack substat and damage resist substat. Cooldown is not important for her because she does have a very long cooldown, and the cooldown starts after her active skill is over. So I would say mainly focus on attack and damage resist. Next one is going to be Licorice Cookie. Licorice Cookie is going to have 5 Swift chocolate in order for him to use his skill as many times as possible in order to have the skill servants up every single time, and you want to have as much cooldown as he can. And then next substat is going to be damage resist. Sorbet Shark Cookie has different builds as well guys. A build that I am currently using is going to be 3 Swift chocolate as well as 2 solid almond, but that is up to you guys. You can also go with 5 searing raspberry, you go with 3 searing raspberry, 2 Swift chocolate, or 3 searing raspberry, 2 solid almond. But I would say the most important substat for Sorbet Shark Cookie is going to be damage resist as well as cooldown. And attack will help, but if it's built for arena, then the true damage comes in, so I wouldn't say attack is 100% necessary, but that is up to your build. There are just various different builds that you can do with a Sorbet Shark Cookie. Next one is going to be Tiger Lily Cookie. Tiger Lily Cookie has different builds as well, but mainly for the arena and as well as the story mode. You want to go with 4 Swift Chocolate and 1 Caramel or 1 Solid Almond. And that is going to allow her to attack faster in order for her to use her Tiger to push back enemies as many times as possible when she is on her Tiger. So you want to have her Tiger up as soon as possible and then use the attack speed in order for you to attack and to deal damage when she is on it. So I would say Tiger Lily will have to go either 4 Swift Chocolate, and then you could go with 1 Caramel or 1 Solid Almond. So Raspberry Cookie has different builds as well, guys. There are builds where you can go with 5 Searing Raspberry, focusing on damage resist and a little bit of cooldown, or you could go with full Swift Chocolate, focusing on extra cooldown as well as damage resist. And the third build is going to be 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond to make a hybrid of cooldown and damage resist. She is mainly for arena, so I would say make sure you are building her according to what kind of team you want in the arena. Next one is going to be Lilac Cookie. Lilac Cookie is going to use 3 Searing Raspberry and 2 Solid Almond, and that is because you want to have Lilac Cookie be pretty tanky with the extra damage resist, as well as have attack in order for him to deal some AoE damage when he activates his skill. And you have to realize that Lilac Cookie is going to be used mainly for speed comps, so attack and damage resist as well as attack speed are going to be the main substats you want to look out for when you are building Lilac Cookie. Next cookie is going to be Monn Rabbit Cookie, new addition to our epic cookies. You could go with 3 different builds in my opinion. You could go with full Solid Almond for those who are trying to make Monn Rabbit Cookie a full-on tank. You could go with 5 Searing Raspberry in order to have some extra damage and use her in that one-shot build. Or you could go with 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond in order to make a hybrid, a tank, and having extra cooldown. Next one is going to be Madeleine Cookie. Madeleine Cookie is going to have 5 Searing Raspberry, and what subset you want to look for is going to be damage resist as well as attack. And to use Madeleine Cookie into a speed comp, which he's mainly for, you want to have attack speed as well. Next one is going to be Parfait Cookie. My Parfait Cookie is using 5 Solid Almond, same thing as how Pure Vanilla was. For healers, you do want to focus on having as high damage resist as possible in order to survive all the incoming damage, especially from Vampire in Arena. And also, you do want to have a little bit of cooldown if possible, but Parfait, because of the heal over time, cooldown is not necessary. But I would say main subset you want to look for is going to be damage resist. You can also go with 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond, just like how Pure Vanilla is able to have that hybrid as well. Next cookie is going to be Strawberry Crepe Cookie. Strawberry Crepe Cookie's standard build is going to be 5 Swift Chocolate, focusing on damage resist as well as cooldown in order to continuously activate his skill in order to have that 50% damage resist buff on your 2 of the lowest HP cookies, as well as you want the damage resist in order to tank some of the hits as a frontliner. There are different builds. You could go with Choco as a healer and support. You can go with the same build as how Parfait and Pure Vanilla goes, 5 Solid Almond. Or if you do want some extra cooldown, you could go with a build like this. I wouldn't recommend this one, but you could go 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond as well, just like how Pure Vanilla and Parfait were. Next one is going to be Almond Cookie. Almond Cookie is going to use a standard build of 5 Solid Almond in order to tank all the damage that is coming his way, especially in arena for against a Vampire Cookie or any of the cookies that snipe the back lane. He doesn't really have any other build than putting 5 Solid Almond into him in order to use him for a one-shot build or one-shot speed comp. Next cookie is going to be Milk Cookie. I do not have any toppings on him because I actually took them out to put it into licorice, but you do want to go with 5 Swift Chocolate in order to have maximum cooldown as well as some damage resist substats in order to make him tankier. But you do have to realize that his skill is going to be taunt and a 50% damage resist boost on him, so you don't really need to have too much damage resist, but you do want to have as much cooldown as possible in order to maximize his time inside of that buff. Next one is going to be Riot Cookie. Riot Cookie is going to use 5 Searing Raspberry. As a sniper pretty much in this game, you want to go and have as many attack stats as possible in order to kill the enemy that she is aiming at when she is using her skill. So I would say the stats you want to go for are going to be attack, crit, a little bit of damage resist if possible, cooldown is okay as well, and attack speed it can help too. Dark Choco is going to have different builds as well, but you can go with 5 Solid Almond in order to make him tankier and have him up in order to use his skill. for the debuff, or you could go with 5 Searing Raspberry just like how Madeleine was, and use him with damage resist substats as well as cooldown and attack. Squid Ink is going to have a standard build of 5 Searing Raspberry just like how Black Raisin and Vampire were. You want to focus on damage or attack and crit for Squid Ink's substats. Next one is going to be Latte. Latte has different builds as well, but I am using currently one of the builds, which is going to be 5 Swift Chocolate in order to have maximum cooldown, in order to use her skill as many times as possible, silencing the enemies as well as immobilizing them. However, if you do want to go with a attack build, then you can go with 5 Searing Raspberry, focusing on attack, cooldown, and damage resist. Mango Cookie is going to have 2 different builds as well. You can go with 5 Searing Raspberry in order to have the maximum attack boost as possible, or you could go with 5 Swift Chocolate in order to have maximum cooldown to keep the attack boost up and cast the knockback as many times as possible. Next one is going to be Red Velvet. Red Velvet has 5 Swift Chocolate, or you could go with 5 Searing Raspberry as well in order to maximize the damage, or you can use 5 Swift Chocolate like I'm doing in order to cast his skill as many times as possible in order to have that 5-second stun on that enemy. Next one is going to be Poison Mushroom Cookie. Poison Mushroom Cookie is going to be using 5 Searing Raspberry in Guild Boss Battle, or you can go with I believe 3 Searing Raspberry and 2 Solid Almond to make him a little tankier in order to survive some hits, but you want to focus on attack and damage resist. Next one is going to be Herb Cookie. Herb Cookie wants to have 5 Solid Almond. That is a build you can do with all the healers. However, I'll recommend 3 of Searing Raspberry in order to buff up his attack, in order for his heal to do more, because it is a constant heal, it is not too much, so boosting it up with attack is going to help, and 2 Solid Almond. However, you can go with 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond as well in order to have some extra damage resist and cooldown. Next one is going to be Pomegranate. Pomegranate, I would say, is going to use 5 Solid Almond as well, just like how Pure Vanilla, Parfait, and Mint Choco were, or you could go with 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond to make that hybrid as well. Sparkling Cookie is going to use mainly 5 Solid Almond, just like how all the other cookies were, or you can use actually 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond to keep up his crit boost, which has been buffed from 15% to 25%. Fig Cookie, I wouldn't build Fig Cookie, but if you do want to build him or her, I don't really know the gender, but you can go with 5 Searing Raspberry or 5 Swift Chocolate. Snow Sugar Cookie, I wouldn't recommend it either, but I would say if you want to keep up the Snow King as many times as possible to keep that attack speed debuff, then go with 5 Swift Chocolate. Espresso Cookie is going to use 5 Searing Raspberry, guys, in order focusing on attack, damage resist, and cooldown. He is going to be a great burst for earlier on in the game, as well as in some of the lower rank in the arena. Chili Pepper is going, just like how Black Raisin is going to be 5 Searing Raspberry, focusing on attack, crit, and cooldown, as well as a little bit of damage resist if you want to. Purple Yam is going to actually use 5 Swift Chocolate in order to maximize the cooldown, as well as you want to have damage resist as your substat in order to have the knockback spinning move as up as soon as possible in order to constantly use it. And it is a pretty good cookie to use in a certain team in the arena, but I wouldn't recommend you build a Purple Yam Cookie because of just that one arena team. Next one is going to be Kumio. Kumio, I will recommend you go with 5 Solid Almond if you want to use her as a tank, or you could go with 3 Searing Raspberry and 2 Solid Almond, or 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond. You want to focus mainly on damage resist and cooldown. Werewolf Cookie is going to use 5 Solid Almond if you do want to use him as a tank, but I would recommend just not building Werewolf Cookie as much because he is not going to do too much for you. But you can also go with 5 Searing Raspberry. You're focusing on your attack and damage resist. Next one is going to be Cream Puff. I wouldn't recommend you build Cream Puff either, but if you do want to build her for some reason, then yes, go for 3 Swift Chocolate and 2 Solid Almond. Next one is going to be Sonic Cookie. I would say Sonic Cookie, you want to go with either full Searing Raspberry in order to maximize the attack, or you could go with full Swift Chocolate in order to maximize the cooldown and a little bit of damage resist in order to keep up that buff that he gives to his teammates. Next one is going to be Tails Cookie. Tails Cookie, I would say you want to use a hybrid of 3 Swift Chocolate or 2 Solid Almond, or you can just go with full Swift Chocolate in order to maximize the cooldown and damage resist and keep up the buff of defense for all the enemies, or for all your allies, for that 7 seconds. And I think that is going to be it, guys. Those are going to be the toppings for all of these epic cookies and also the ancient and legendary. I know it was a little quick video, guys, but I just wanted to go over it real quick so you guys know the gist of exactly what kind of toppings you want to use on each cookies. And I will go over the specifics of substats and exactly what you want to do if I do use certain cookies in a team. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you guys did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you guys don't miss out on any future Cooking Kingdom videos I upload on YouTube. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time.